What is creativity? How can I be more creative? How can I think outside the box? And what do I do when I'm in a rut? Andrew Huberman explains creativity this way, taking elements of the known world and combining them in novel ways that are useful. Of course, I'm paraphrasing here, being creative, you know? We know creativity when we see it, and we also know when something's not creative when we see it. Let's take a look at how some of the masters combine different elements to make something new and creative. Did you know that George Lucas got the fighting style for some of the Jedi Knights from Kendo? And the way the X-Wing fighters dived down to attack the Death Star came from World War II fighter plane footage. Even Luke Skywalker's journey from moisture farmer to Jedi Knight is the classic hero's journey. How can I be more creative? Simple. Create. Creativity is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. You'll learn new skills during the process, and you'll get some new ideas as well. Be curious. Always ask, what if? I'm writing a book right now. It's a love story, and it started with the question, what if? More on that in another video later, I promise. We hear this a lot. What does it mean to think outside the box? Well, first, you gotta know the box. If you're trying to build a supercar, you gotta know how cars work. If you're gonna write a hit song, you need to know a little bit about music first. Understand the medium you're trying to create for. But you have to start with some basic knowledge before you can think outside the box. That being said, don't wait till you understand everything, start creating. So how do I get out of a rut? We've all heard of brainstorming. An exercise I like to use is called free writing. Sit down at a computer or get a notebook and write everything that comes to mind. Sometimes you need to unclog the pipes before the good stuff can come out. You can throw out some of those ideas later. Just don't judge right now. For every video I've put on YouTube, I've got a notebook full of 10 ideas that will probably never be filmed. For every video I've uploaded, there are probably 10 videos on my hard drive that are never going to see the light of day. Check out The War of Art by Steven Pressfield. Sometimes the strongest resistance comes from inside, but overcoming those doubts can unleash waves of creativity. Take a walk in nature. Close the computer, go outside and take a walk. I can't emphasize the importance of nature and creativity enough. It was only when I put away my computer and went outside to film something that I got a brand new idea that totally took me by surprise. I was trying to find a way to create tension, but it kind of felt artificial. But what happened spontaneously was much better than anything I could have scripted. And the whole course of the video changed because of what I saw that day. Actually, the direction of this channel kind of changed because of what happened that day. But it was only because I went outside and started filming. Watch creative people. Now, I can't emphasize this enough. I'm particularly inspired by Eddie Van Halen. His guitar solo in the Live Without a Net video never fails to inspire me. I mean, look at his smile. He's having the time of his life. His creative energy inspires me. Who inspires you? Next, get out of your comfort zone. Go do something you don't normally do. You all know that I like hard rock, but every once in a while, to kind of jar things loose, I'll listen to some hip hop or reggae or country music, which I don't normally listen to. It brings up new thoughts in my head, and I get creative ideas. This leads me to our next tip, travel. Every time we travel, we end up seeing the world a little bit differently. This is because travel actually changes our brain, and we are, quite literally, seeing the world with new eyes. When I visited Sweden and Denmark a few years ago, I came back and looked at the world in a completely different way. Oh, and the food was tremendous. I'm going to put a link to my favorite restaurant in Copenhagen in the description below. Check it out. Be patient. Sometimes ideas need to percolate. Keep a notebook. You might get a partial idea. Write it down. And then let it marinate. But don't procrastinate. Which brings me to my next point. Execute. Go out there and make something. Ethan Hawke said, "There is no path till you walk it." And don't worry about being perfect. George Lucas said that films are never completed, they're only abandoned. Sometimes you just have to hold your nose and publish. I found mistakes in videos that I've uploaded, but I learned from those mistakes and I improved the next time. And remember, Joe Rogan says you should never read comments about yourself on social media. Just post and ghost. In my next video, I'm going to talk about dealing with criticism. Sayonara.